Well, when one of your quarterback peers says you had the greatest rookie season ever, and a rival defensive coordinator says you're a young quarterback by birth certificate and not by game tape, your name is Jayden Daniels, and Commanders fans surely believe that the curse of Daniel Snyder has been lifted at long last. Up on CBSSports.com right now, Cody Benjamin lists his NFL quarterback tiers, and he's got Daniels amongst the transcendent talents. Tier 1, shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl champ Jalen Hurts, two-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and in the reigning MVP, Josh Allen. CBS Sports NFL analyst and host of the With the First Pick podcast, Ryan Wilson, joins us to talk about quarterback tiers. But importantly, when it comes to Jayden Daniels, Ryan, I'm not sure how you top what he did with the Commanders in year one, taking them from one place to a place nobody thought they might get to. But I'm a little bit worried for Commanders fans because I'm not sure what you do for an encore when the rest of the league has a full year of tape on you. You worried at all about a sophomore slump from Daniels?
Historically, interestingly enough, Russ, and it's always good to see, Jayden might be in a good spot. And you talked about the curse of Daniel Snyder. You and I both have ties to D.C., so it's fun to see Washington fans have something good happen to them. And shout out to Cody Benjamin for putting this list together, and for getting Jalen Hurts on this list. Fun fact, Cody's an Eagles fan, but I think he got it right there. But in terms of Jayden, the reasons for optimism are many. Number one, they improved the offensive line this offseason. They got Laramie Tunsil. They drafted Josh Connolly Jr. in the first round. So the offensive line has actually gotten better. Oh, by the way, they went out and got Deebo Samuel as well. Terry McLaurin wants that new deal. I think he will get that new deal. But they got Terry McLaurin some help as well in the form of Deebo Samuel, and we know all the good things he did in San Francisco. Oh, by the way, Cliff Kingsbury is still there. He came in year one as the OC, had opportunities to leave this offseason, but wanted to run it back with Jayden Daniels, and for obvious reasons. And also, by the way, there's a lot of by the ways here, Russ. Not only can Jayden throw the ball exceptionally well, he's a dual threat guy. He can run the ball, and even though he's slight of frame, he avoids those big hits. As I mentioned before, there's a long list of, historically speaking, quarterbacks who have excelled in year one and also had that success in year two. Lamar Jackson, Ben Roethlisberger, Andrew Luck, guys who won 10, 11, 12 games in year one and then got even better in year two because the players around them got better and they got better as well. And I think that's going to be the case for Jayden Daniels because there's no reason to think that he's suddenly going to backslide into perhaps what he was in year one at Arizona State. Our buddy Pete Prisco has made this point time and again, and I think he's right. No player did more for themselves coming into the draft than Jayden Daniels did his last year at LSU. He went from day 3 guy to top 2 guy, and well-deserved, no doubt about it.
Look, and more often than not, greatness tends to reveal itself. That was tier 1. That's the top of the heap. Let's look at the tier 2 NFL QBs, according to Cody Benjamin of CBSSports.com. In this group, you got C.J. Stroud, the one who called Jayden Daniels' rookie season the best ever, by the way, and his wasn't too bad either. Stafford and Goff forever linked, and Brock Purdy amongst the borderline stars of tier 2. All right, from Mr. Irrelevant to $181 million guaranteed for Brock Purdy. It's an amazing story. Now comes the pressure of living up to the contract as opposed to outperforming expectations. So what's it going to take for Brock to convert the non-believers here?
Yeah, C.J. Stroud, by the way, another guy who went 10-7 rookie season and second season, got to the playoffs both times. In terms of Brock Purdy, I do wonder, Russ, if Brock had been a first or second round pick, if he would have perhaps sneaked into that other tier. I think he gets dinged a little bit for being Mr. Irrelevant, but there's no doubt about the success he's had given the circumstances he's had to overcome. Interestingly enough, as you mentioned, I co-hosted with the First Pick podcast with Rand Carthon, the former Titans GM. Prior to that, he worked in San Francisco with some guy named John Lynch, who drafted Brock Purdy, and we had John Lynch on the podcast on Monday, and he talked about exactly everything that Brock brings to the table and why they had no issue giving him that big deal, and I think we have a clip about it.
You know, we all felt passionately that Brock's the guy that we want to build around, and we want as our guy behind center for the foreseeable future and hopefully the rest of his career, and you know, that it didn't take long. Brock's done so much for us from the day he entered, from the day he was the number 4 guy And I remember being at practice, and it's a great illustration. There's a lot of old school NFL guys will say to guys coming into training camp, don't count your reps, make your reps count. Well, nobody ever painted that picture other than Brock Purdy, because early on in the days of camp, as the last player taken, you're getting 3-4 reps, and it's hard to really shine and make a turn people's heads when you're only getting that many reps. And it's really easy just to play it safe. He didn't play it safe at all. He'd get 3 reps in a practice, and 3 of them he'd get the ball into these small windows, and you're like, man, this dude, is it reckless or is it confidence? And what we found, it was confidence, and he was just everyone starts looking at each other. When you start getting that look, you like, man, we may have something. Now, did we foresee what Brock would become? No.
That's a pretty good flex.
And that's the amazing thing about the NFL. No, I was going to say, Russ, as someone who covers the draft, the dirty little secret is we don't know whether you're in the media or whether you're in the front office and trying to find these players. They took Trey Lance. They traded to get Trey Lance in that very same draft, 3rd overall. They took a flyer on Brock Purdy in round 7. He ends up being the franchise quarterback, and you can say, well, he's playing a college hand-to-hand system. John Lynch just gave you an example of while it transcends playing in a certain system. And I think there are very little concerns about Brock Purdy. I think he is the right man for the job in San Francisco. He's proven that. There are things he can work on. There are things every quarterback can work on. But I think that team is best set up for success with Brock Purdy under center.
Yeah, the results kind of speak for themselves there. That's CBS Sports NFL analyst and the co-host of the With the First Pick podcast, Ryan Wilson. Ryan, thanks so much. His co-host is the former Titans GM, Rand Carthon. And check out With the First Pick for the full interview with Niners GM John Lynch. And look for new episodes dropping weekly wherever you podcast. All right, we've gone from transcendent talents to borderline superstars. So what encapsulates a Tier 3 NFL QB? The big reveal when we return on CBS Sports HQ. Calling them promising prospects. Tier 3 NFL QBs, according to Cody Benjamin, up right now on CBSSports.com. Bo Nix arrived seemingly fully formed after 12 years in college. Drake May's talent evident for all to see. And J.J. McCarthy yet to play a snap, but expected to start for the Vikings this season. Back with CBS Sports NFL analyst Ryan Wilson. All right, lot of optimism around all of these guys in Tier 3. But of the group, who do you see as having the best chance for a breakout season in 2025?
It's funny, Russ, because a year ago, maybe 15 months ago, we had real concerns about that Broncos roster. That Broncos roster has very little in the way of holes in it. But I'm going to go to Chicago, which was hugely disappointing as a franchise last year in 2024, mostly because Matt Eberflus didn't work out. So what do? They bring in Ben Johnson. And we know what Ben Johnson can do from his time with Jared Goff in Detroit. They have Caleb Williams, who I thought was going to hit the ground running no matter who the coach was in Chicago. Had some rough patches as a rookie. Things came together the final 4 to 6 weeks of the season. And I think he's going to hit the ground running, for real in 2025, in large part because of what Ben Johnson likes to do. We know he can dial up plays, but he's also incredibly reliant on the run game to help out that young quarterback. They went and got 3 interior offensive linemen during the free agency process. The offensive line is going to be better. They drafted Luther Burden III in the 2nd round. In the 1st round, they got tight end Colston Loveland. They are giving Caleb Williams every opportunity for success. And while I think that Bo Nix is going to continue that upward trajectory, I think Drake May is going to have a really good season under Mike Vrabel as they turn things around in New England. I think Caleb Williams is best set up for success in, admittedly, an incredibly tough division, but I think we're going to see a lot of the Caleb Williams high points that we saw at USC. We're going to see those more consistently in Chicago without some of the hero ball that got him in trouble last year. So I'm going to go with Caleb Williams. It's going to be fun to watch, and I think Ben Johnson's going to prove why he was so sought after as a head coach pretty early on in his tenure in Chicago.
All right, getting fired up there in the second city. Finally, let's move on to Tier 4. We're calling it volatile vets, and it seems apropos because there's no easy tie that binds the guys on this list except let's just say time is of the essence for each for their own reasons. When you put Aaron Rodgers and Tua and Kyler Murray and Sam Darnold in the same group, that is a volatile mix, if you will. Ryan, if I could create an aroma For tier 4, I'd call it boom or bust. Which one is the highest boom potential to you?
Yeah, to take it back to the 80s when you and I were thriving, Russ, this feels like a motley crew in terms of the names we saw on that list. I love Geno Smith as a player, but I think the Raiders situation is one. You're in an incredibly tough division, and there are a lot of questions with that defense. I think the offense will be fine. They drafted Ashton Tinty. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, and I admitted to you during the break, and you knew this. I'm a Steelers fan, and I've tried to talk myself into Aaron Rodgers time and time again. They're going to be up against it when you talk about the Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, no doubt about it. But they find a way year in and year out, no matter who the quarterback is in a post-Big Ben era, to make the playoffs. So win 9.5, 10 games. I think if you can catch lightning in a bottle with Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old, you can get to 10, you can get to 11 wins. And don't forget, they were 10-3 last year with Russ Wilson before the wheels fell off. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is a slight upgrade over Russ Wilson. The offensive line's going to be a little bit better. It'll be a little bit younger. The run game should be much improved. They drafted a running back, Caleb Johnson, in the 3rd round that's going to excel in this Arthur Smith system. And I think the defense is going to be a little better. All those things taken into account, and if Aaron Rodgers can just do Aaron Rodgers things on the field and not be a distraction off the field, you have DK Metcalf. There are slight reasons for optimism. I'm not going to go overboard and say this team is going to win to the division or make a deep playoff run, but I think at the very least they're going to have an opportunity to finally win a playoff game for the first time in what I believe is 9 years, and Aaron Rodgers wearing Kenny Pickett's number 8 is going to do it. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers here. I would have loved to have gone with Geno Smith, but that defense in Las Vegas and that division they play in made that difficult for me to do.
The beauty of these tiers, Ryan, I think, is that sort of that light of NFL hope. It shines all the way down to the 4th tier, where you can see that hope, even if you're a Steelers fan and have to accept Aaron Rodgers as your savior in 2025. Ryan Wilson, CBS Sports NFL analyst, thank you so much, and love hearing you on the With the First podcast as well. Aaron Rodgers poised to join an exclusive list in 2025, just the 5th quarterback in NFL history to play 21 seasons in the league, but it's really Tom Brady or bust, unless you want to count Vinny Testaverde among the volatile vets for life. Earl Morrall and George Blanda, they played those 21st years, but didn't pick up a win nor a loss in those seasons.